Hello, everyone.
Hey, Molly, down to your right.
Hello, mate.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, you okay?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. First of all, how happy are you to be looking to bounce back on home soil here in London, somewhere where you've had some of your biggest moments?
It's a safe space for me. I love being here. It's like a next gen home show now. It feels. It's nice to see all the staff as always. Been here a good few times now, so it's a calm week for us.
What's the mindset going into this one compared to some of your previous fights in London?
Just enjoy myself. Just have a bit of fun. My career has been one filled with many ups and many downs, and it's not the same as quite a lot of other fighters' careers, you know. And it's just about enjoying it and making sure that my performance is the one that I want it to be.
So when you've got someone on such short notice, such a late opponent change, how does that affect things going into this? Because I think we had Alexia in earlier, and I think she said that it was basically the latest possible day that she could have accepted a fight like this was the day that she took it.
Yeah. Thursday night, just finished my last spar, sat there in Graham Boylan, about 10 o'clock at night to get a little wave sign. Are you around for a call? I said, do not tell me my opponent's pulled out. And he rang me when I was freaking out. Did you know that? I said, I just had a feeling this one wasn't going to make it, but not much has changed. It's a couple of hours to try and get your head round. You've prepared for a certain face, but the fighting styles aren't too much dissimilar. The good thing about Brazilians is they always bring it, and they've got lots of passion, want to come and bring a fight, and I think both opponents have that, and they meet that within me also. So the next day, went to the gym, went through our fight run through the game plan, and this is a style that I've faced in near enough every single fight of my career, so I'm very thankful she took the fight. I think it's a bigger win for me with her. She's a prospect, record's brilliant, and the only loss she's got is to my last fight. So I did give Bruna Brazil a little WhatsApp. I went, hey love, how did you find that fight? And we had a little back and forth. So
how did that call go?
Well, the 2 days after my last fight with Bruna, well, after the fight actually, we was both in the fighters' hotel, shared the gin together, had some food together, watched Paddy fight, and we just have a lot of mutual respect for each other. And she got my number off someone a few days later and sent me a really lovely text message. And I just sent her one back, and she's like, look, when your leg's healed up, come out and train. And I was like, I absolutely will, but it hasn't timed well enough for this camp, but I probably will go out there and train after this if I'm fighting in the summer. So I think when I came into the UFC, it was all and anger, and that's really kind of what Scousers personify. Is just loud, isn't it? And I think the more you've probably seen me mature in front of your eyes, understand it doesn't have to be about emotion. Even though I get emotional in the cage and my fighting style's emotional, yeah, I'm much more mature now and don't have to hate my opponents when I'm fighting against them.
Last one on the short notice thing. Given how late it was that the pullout happened, was there any thought in your mind at all, given that things didn't go your way last time out, to stop? Was it, I'm fighting, I don't care who they put in there?
No, I did say, do I get to pick? Is there anyone? Like, and he was like, no, Molly, this is it, or it's not fighting. I said, well, I've sold 90 grand's worth of tickets, I said, and I'm not letting me people down. Like, if these are, like, if fighters fight, if anyone pulled out on 10 days' notice and my weight was low enough, I'd always offer myself up. I think in the UFC, you know that's a given. I'm just really excited to get in there, and props to my opponent. She thinks that she can come and have a go. So,
last one from me. You've had some incredible moments, incredible highlights in the octagon.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the perfect night for you on Saturday?
Nathan wins, Molly McCann wins, and we go and get to celebrate Paddy's Day finally.
Great stuff. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Molly, right here. How big of a factor do you think not only the UFC experience will play, but also that she's coming into her UFC debut in front of a massive crowd that will obviously be favoring you?
my UFC debut, I thought I was the bollocks, and Gillian Robertson humbled me. So I know the percentage of debutants when they come out, it's not always that they win because they get caught up in the show. And I'm not going to rely on that with my opponents. I'm really expecting to have someone come for me the whole way. And I don't think anyone should ever think, oh, just because it's their first one, might the heads go a little bit, or she's not come all the way around the world on 9 days' notice to just make up numbers. She's coming to take me head off. Do you know what I mean? So there's one thing I do know, though, when there's 18,000 people singing my name against my opponent, I know that can play a factor into it a little bit, but also flipping the coin on the other hand, I have to make sure that I'm not there responding to the crowd, and I'm in there keeping my head clear and calm and doing the best that I can under that pressure as well.
And your teammates at Next Generation had a very big week last week at Cage Warriors, and they're expecting a big night this weekend. Paddy's got a big fight coming up. Shem's got a big fight coming up. Talking about being there in that gym right now, how encouraging is it? It seems to just be everyone's doing really well, and it seems to be quite vibrant right in there.
I think what Paul Ellis and Adam managed to do is they'll come up with a system and how MMA seems to be playing out at that time, and we make training that simulates like finishes and how do we get there in the positions that we get into, and we do really well for a long period of time, and then there's a time where if someone maybe breaks down and then the team go away again and then rebuild, and you can see every one of my teammates, we was all there watching on Saturday, every one of them faced adversity in the first round and was patient and was calm and found a way to win, and everyone got a finish. And it was so inspirational. Like little Francis Breen, my training partner for the last 11 years, went in there, got caught in a big guillotine in the first round, got up and then murdered your fella, do you know what I mean? And it's really inspiring to see, to see it at that level. Like fighting, it is only fighting. It doesn't matter you're under the UFC banner. You just go in there and do the right things correctly under pressure and you'll get the win. So I see a big win for us, both me and Nathan. I see Paddy doing the business, and then Shem needs to get out of that octagon and get here.
And I know you're a very big Everton fan. Have you gotten a chance to see their new stadium, and what do you think of a potential fight there? I know Paddy's always calling for Anfield.
I used to live just down the road. Well, I could like literally throw a stone from my apartment to where it is. Leah, again, every fight week in my interviews. What was I going to say? Yeah, no, I've been around it. I haven't been in it yet, but there's a testimonial on Sunday. Not a testimonial, a test event. And if I get home in time, I'll go and watch that. But if not, I'll wait till the first game of next season. And I'd fight in a car park in Liverpool if it meant people could watch. I wouldn't really be bothered. So.
Hey, Molly. You talked about earlier about your developing maturity. What have you learned, and have there been any specific moments that have sort of made it click for you in terms of developing that maturity?
The wins, how to conduct myself in wins, how to conduct myself in losses, how much it hurts when you lose, how to be more professional everywhere. I think the UFC has given me such a platform to be able to build my own businesses, and with that, I've grown in that way also. And I'd only had 7 professional fights before starting in the UFC. I was 24 when I started MMA, so I was quite green and learned so much on the job. And I think under them lights and under that spotlight from the media and from the fans and from the trolls, it's just a lot of growing up in front of the public eye, even though I was obviously a little bit older in age. But you make mistakes and you act off emotion, and a lot of us, me and Paddy, we say a lot of mad stuff sometimes because we're just really honest people and there's kind of no filter. But maybe I've learned a little bit of a filter, or knowing what hill to die on, knowing when's really the time to stand on for something and when it's just like, you know what, that's not really going to change an opinion or change that, so I'm not even going to waste my breath on it. But I'm not very proud. I've never in my career gone, oh, I'm really proud of myself and all of that, but I can like sit in front of you all today and be like, do you know what, I'm proud of Molly McCann, because there's not many in this sport who's had 14 fights in the UFC, and there's not many people who every time they lose find a way to level up, find a way to improve, find a way to hold on to a career and still keep on bringing amazing fights, bums and seats, transcend the sport to like people who don't watch the sport. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just proud of myself now.
Wonderful. And in terms of how does that affect your preparations when you go into a fight like Saturday, when you know you are going to be potentially a huge favourite in the big arena against somebody so raw as you may have been at one point?
I think she's just she's going to be really dangerous for that first round. Experiences on my side, I've had as many fights in the UFC as she's had professional wins, and I think you'll just get to see a very more educated Molly McCann in there, and just use my experience. You know, like Angela Hill, said something the other day. Like, there's a lot to be said for those older age fighters who are still in there and still going and go against the prospects and the young pups, and they always find a way to win because they've weathered it all and they've seen it all. But I really believe, like, I'm putting my opponent up there, like she's the top in the division and she's the best person that I've ever come against, because when I haven't, I fell short. When I've been too confident in my own self, I fell short. So the maturity is, she's the toughest opponent I've ever seen in that octagon, and then I'll keep myself sharp and keep myself ready.
Wonderful. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
Well, just going back to what you said earlier about, you know, successes away from, you know, fighting, your businesses and things like that. How does that impact your fight career directly? It seems like you're really relaxed right now. Does it give you a freedom knowing that you've got something, you know, when it's all said and done, you've got something that's going to keep you busy and living well?
I don't think so. I think I'm just put into more positions where I'm sure of who I am now. I was a very lost young girl when I came into the UFC, and just so thankful to be here. And that's not changed in terms of I'm not thankful to be here, but I just know the world. I've seen it all. I've seen a lot of it now. And I'm so involved in my business. I'm there, like, every facet of it I'm involved in. It's not just something I've invested in or my name's on it. I am from top to bottom. It's me and Joel doing it all together. I make sure that the last 6 weeks of camp, I take myself out of every group chat. I'm not involved in none of it, and they let me have them last 6 weeks in camp. But I just make sure that I manage my time efficiently. 5 hours a day to train, and an hour to the dogs, an hour on my life admin in the shops. And you'll see it in me. You'll know how much I've evolved and grown up. And I don't even think about quitting fighting. I don't even think, I've got that to fall back on, because the job's not done. Like, who drops weight at this age and still hasn't got that hunger? Do you know what I mean? I've got delusional, if you want to call me delusional, but I still think I've got a lot of miles left in the tank, and I've got a lot of things left to accomplish before I'm ready to leave them gloves in the cage.
Just one more from me. Luke Riley, big win last weekend, 11-0. Seems like one of the hottest prospects pretty much in world MMA. Mm-hmm. My question is just why is he not already signed to the UFC? Could you shed any light on what's going on and why he should really be on this card? He's that big of a star in my eyes.
I think he'll be, like, in a couple of weeks, lad. I think they've just got some stuff to work out contractually. And then next March, it'll be me, Pad, Luke and Nathan.
Love it. Thanks.
Hi, Molly over here.
Hi.
I appreciate you have a lot on your plate right now, but you mentioned you can see Paddy going in there and doing the business. And I'm just curious how your conversations have been with Paddy recently. Obviously, this is the biggest fight of his career. I think a lot of people would agree about that. How do you see it playing out? And obviously, we know how confident Paddy is in his interviews and with the media. How have you been with him recently?
I love it when we're in camp together, because it always draws us closer. And I think we set a standard in the gym and energy that everyone thrives off. And pressure makes diamonds. And my boy is a big, big diamond. This is everything he's dreamed of his whole life. I don't think the bright lights are going to get to him. I think he's learned his lessons in previous fights, and especially with Tony Ferguson. I think that was a big thing. having Trump in the crowd, being there on that card. He knows the drill. He's meeting Chandler at the perfect time. He's levelling up everywhere. You look at his body, he's a man now, he's 30 years of age. He's not green in the sport, and he's just going to go in there and absolutely do the job.
You say that he's learned his lessons. Do you see that in the gym on a day-to-day basis in terms of how he's reacted from his previous fights?
Well, you look at him, he's not blowing up anymore. He's got 2 little girls who were 1 in May or April. Sorry for getting the wrong part. But he's grown up. He doesn't say all the madness. No, well, he still does say a bit of madness sometimes, like, but no, he knows the sport. Like, he knows how to play you all. Do you know what I mean? He knows, right, I'm going to get the most eyes on us, and he's authentic with the way he's doing it. And like, the second he's on that mat, it is 100% until the second he's off that mat. And he does 7 5-minute rounds with fresh partners every Tuesday, every Thursday. He doesn't get out of breath, and he's an absolute monster. And I can't wait. I really think this will be the big career-defining fight for him, where people get to see who he really is in every part of his game.
Will you be there in Miami?
I'll be there in Miami.
Thank you.
Yes, hi Molly. Just one question. It's been a year now since you switched weight classes, since you moved to strawweight. Can you tell us about how you feel in the new division? Is it more comfortable for you?
Yeah, I think we took this switch because I was being outmaneuvered and out-wrestled and held down by people who was just so much heavier than me. The adjustments that we have to make is in training. I just have to have lighter training partners. I caught less weight on fight week for this weight category than I did when I was a big fat meatball, and now I'm like it's developed my game in terms of being faster, being more switched on, let me shots go well, and yeah, I'm just excited for you to see a developed version. My body's used to the cut now. My body's used to the weight just flying off me. I don't look drawn. I haven't got a dry mouth. I'm full of energy for you today, even though I'm being relaxed, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Good luck. Thank you.
Molly, you mentioned obviously you're familiar with the space and it's a safe space for you being around here. Mm-hmm. How much of an asset has that been, particularly with the late change and so many things probably up in the air, just to be in a really familiar setting for you?
Do you know, I actually haven't really thought about it. I think when I'd come off 2 losses back to back and then I was fighting in the Apex, in that Palace Station hotel that just stunk of cigarettes because everyone smokes in there, and it's like horrible. And yeah, it doesn't really matter where I am. I suppose it's where my mental focus is at. And I'm just, like I say, I'm long enough in the game to know how it all rolls out now, and one person wins and one person loses. And I used to give so much energy and think about the fans and think about all of this and give you so much more. I think I don't fucking need to now. It's just like, go and dance, little meatball on Saturday night.